Hi there, Bill Hitchcock. Whoa, what a difference a day makes. I had not anticipated doing this program, but things have just radically changed in regards to flounder here in North Carolina. I am recording this on Saturday morning, the July 27th. Yesterday, Friday, dark 30 Friday, I caught wind of the WRC has opened the flounder season. What? So that morning, before business hours, I was emailing everybody, the Wildlife Resources Commission, the Division of Marine Fisheries, the Marine Fisheries Commission, even the North Carolina Fisheries Association, just to get feedback, to hear what was going on. As of Saturday, recording this, I've heard back from two people. One was the Division of Marine Fisheries, Tricia Smith. She said, "Can you give me till Monday to give you some information?" I said, "Fine." And typically the North Carolina Fisheries Association responded immediately to me. It's one of their secrets to their success, by the way. Gave their opinion. So we're going to talk about that. But what else also came up, you can see here, a petition. Remove North Carolina Division of Marine Fisheries directors for mismanagement of flounder season. We're going to talk about that. But one thing before I get too deep into things, the next show that we're doing is on southern flounder, but it's off of a symposium that was held in New Bern a couple of months ago. It was a 5-hour-long symposium all about flounder. Fascinating stuff, like where do they migrate to? How far have they, down to Florida, North Carolina, Georgia, all the way from North Carolina down to Georgia and back? Where do they spawn? Ooh, you're going offshore for that. Do they, what inlets, where, who? Lots of stuff. I get excited. By the way, a dirty little secret about me is my favorite fish to fish for is flounder. I'm a creek sneaker. I'm a sound bounder. I love to go flounder fishing. So yes, all of this impacts me personally as well. Now let's get on with the program. And as soon as we find out some hardcore, solid information, get responses from all of those people that I've contacted, I'll let you know. Hopefully by Monday, I will have the information that we can get up, because of course, people like the division work Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. So I have to wait till Monday, although I was disappointed by the lack of response on Friday, because everybody was contacted by, emails were sent out by 5 in the morning, but I didn't get contacted besides the division and the Fisheries Association. Now, let's get into this petition. I want to read to you. It's been amazing. I've come back doing these things less than 2 months ago, a month and a half ago, and the responses I've been getting has been phenomenal. It really is revealing on mindsets and attitudes and what's being taught, what's being messages that are put out there, whether they're correct, whether they're wrong, and it's very, very surprising. But let's go on with this petition, which, while I'm doing this, where is it? They got 5,001 signatures. They want 7,500. That's their goal. But this is what the petition says. It says, as a lifelong fisherman of North Carolina, I have witnessed firsthand the mismanagement of our precious fishery resources. Director Kathy Rawls and Deputy Director Michael Loeffler of the North Carolina Division of Marine Fisheries have consistently failed to follow accurate scientific data, resulting in the inappropriate regulation of the flounder. We are now facing a situation where we are denied any flounder season and are forced to follow flawed guidelines for the red snapper season. This mismanagement is harming not only the marine ecosystem, remember I said that if you really are conservation minded and you really want to do something for the resource, to don't fish. You're not fishing, and that's harming the ecosystem. I can't figure out that logic. But also the local fishing community and economy. I can't argue that. If you can't go fish, you can't spend no money. Proper management based on true science is crucial for sustainable practices and the well-being of North Carolina's coastal area. Now, they're setting up a premise that true science isn't being followed. Please sign this petition to call for the immediate removal of Kathy Rawls and Michael Loeffler and insist on leadership that prioritizes accurate scientific data in the management of our fisheries. Again, that's the premise that they're working off of. Whether it's a true premise or not is up to discussion, which brings up, if you go to the Coastal Conservation Association, they have their science. You go to the Marine Resource Commission, they have their science. Go to the Wildlife Federation, they have their science. So anyway, so the petition is out there. I'll put the link in the comments section. Is everything I'm about to talk about, we'll put in the comments sections. And speaking of comments, there are 2 comments at this website. It's change.org. You might want to investigate change.org. Anyway, reasons for signing. The first one, person says, I have been a lifelong license holder and have paid my dues to enjoy my God-given rights to fish anywhere in this state and keep what I catch for my own consumption. I do not need these liberal office holders to take my rights away and will fight it to the end, even if it means I will break the law by keeping what I want to eat. All right, a couple of things. God-given rights to go fishing. No, that's not a God-given right. Hold on. It's a legal right. What is a legal right? Are those bestowed onto a person by a given legal system, i.e. the government. Rights structured the forms of our governments, the contents of our laws, and the shape of morality as we perceive it. To accept a set of rights is to approve a distribution of freedom and authority. You're distributing your freedom and authority, and to endorse a certain view of what may, must, and must not be done. That comes from Stanford University Encyclopedia of Philosophy. All right, your rights, the government, basically, the state, the federal, local, that's where you get your rights from. Now, your God-given rights are referred to as natural rights, are those that are not dependent on the laws or customs of any particular culture or government, and so are universal, fundamental, and inalienable. Our U.S. Constitution is based on those rights. Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. So that's where your rights come from. North Carolina has given you the right to go fish. Now, speaking of which, let me get into this, into the God-given rights, because I know right now there's some people bowed up. Genesis 1:28, and God blessed them, and God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, and, what's he say next? Replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish. Dominion doesn't mean catch. It means rule, which catch can be a subpart thereof. Don't get me wrong. Over the fish of the sea, over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. So the very first thing outside of you and I being fruitful and multiplying is to replenish the earth. Think about that. And yes, we have dominion over the fish and the fowl, which a subpart of is catch, eat. Why do you think God made it? So, but by the way, let me go into the other comment here. North Carolina State Constitution says preferred method of fisheries management is public hunting and fishing. We'll touch on that. It's very interesting. Recreational fishing is open to every person regardless of economic situation or job occupation. True. Open to everybody if you abide by the laws, i.e. a law now is a fishing license. Didn't used to always be. We should protect the right of the common man to provide for his family above anything else. Not everyone can afford to go to the fish market and purchase enough flounder for a family of 4 or 5. I believe our actions are not aligned with the spirit of the state constitution. Well, I've got the state constitution right here. We're going to go over that. But something that this person says about being able to feed his family. He can't afford going to the fish market, which obviously can be quite expensive. I don't know what flounder per pound is where you're at or even where I'm at, because I don't buy flounder at the fish market. But there is a thing that I do want to bring up to your attention, that if you need to fish for food for the family, this isn't just recreational. This is what's known as subsistence fishing. Let me read you this from the Division of Marine Fisheries website. Contact your county's Department of Social Services for an application to see if you qualify for a subsistence waiver. Those who receive benefits from Medicaid, food stamps, or workforce family assistance through the county's Department of Social Services may qualify. Subsistence fishermen, there's thousands of them. And if you're having to fish to feed your family, contact your Department of Social Services. Go to the Division of Marine Fisheries, call, ask, find out. We want you to eat. We don't want you to go hungry. So that's a different category that falls underneath recreational, because you're not a commercial fisherman. You're just trying to feed your family. And there are avenues for you to pursue, and I hope you do pursue them. By the way, and speaking of rights, I brought some little books out. If you want to know the rights of man, Thomas Paine. These are our legal rights, which was followed up with a better book by Thomas Paine, Common Sense. And if you really want to get into it, Plato's Republic. If you really want to get bizarre, you can do Aristotle's Politics. But if you really want the final word, how about the final word? Read that one. Now, the North Carolina Constitution. In Article 1, Section 38, it talks about, page 5, it talks about the right to hunt, fish, and harvest wildlife. Well, you probably can't see that, but I'm putting it up graphically anyway. It says the right of the peoples to hunt, fish, and harvest wildlife is a valued part of the state's heritage and shall be forever preserved for the public good. It didn't say the commercial fisherman good. It didn't say the recreational fisherman good. It says the public good. That means every North Carolinian. The people have a right, including the right to use traditional methods to hunt, fish, and harvest wildlife, subject only to laws enacted by the General Assembly. Where do your rights come from? The General Assembly in North Carolina. That's where your rights come from. And rules adopted pursuant to authority granted by the, guess what? The General Assembly to 1. Promote wildlife conservation and management. The number 1 priority, conservation. And management. Preserve the future of hunting and fishing. Public hunting and fishing shall be a preferred means of managing and controlling wildlife. Hunting and fishing, that's the preferred method for managing wildlife. Now, what does that mean? If you say a fish stock is in decline, does fishing them help it? Help them? No. If deer populations are in decline, does going out and hunting them help them? Basically, no. Don't get me right, you know, it's real difficult in the ocean. I mean, if we were timber farmers, it's real easy. You drive down the road, you see the forest. You see the trees that have been cut and the trees still standing. Well, you go out on the ocean, what do you see? Water. When you let go of a fish, you don't know where it goes. No, you don't. And proof in the pudding is when we do this, our next presentation on flounder, you're going to find out where that, you're going to be, it stunned me how far inland flounders go. Yeah, you might not have to come to the coast to catch flounders anymore. And where they migrate to during the wintertime. And where are they? November, December, and January? I'll give you a little hint. Inlets. So the preferred method of managing and controlling wildlife, nothing herein shall be construed to modify any provision of law relating to trespass, property rights, or eminent domain. That's what the North Carolina Constitution says about hunting and fishing. It is the preferred method of managing and controlling everything. But again, if the stock status are down, you can't fish them back to health. All right. Again, subsistence fishing, I really hope that you do contact the division about that, because it is important. We want you to eat. If it's a matter of getting food on your table, there is help for you. The government will be out there. The state of North Carolina will help you out. This whole thing with the WRC, opening the flounder season, and now people want to have a petition to oust the director and the deputy director of the Division of Marine Fisheries. People, look at it this way. Is it a matter of allocation or conservation? If it's a matter of conservation, don't fish. And you're upset because somebody else gets to, the commercial fishermen, in regards to flounder. So you're upset they get to fish, you don't, that's not fair. Well, I made mention about public, general public. Commercial fishermen fish for the general public. You don't. You fish for you. There's where the big difference is, and this is where people get a little bit confused. We will stay on top of this whole thing about the Wildlife Resources Commission. As soon as I get a response from the Marine Fisheries Commission, as soon as I get a response from the division, as soon as I get a response from the Wildlife Resources Commission, I will get it out to you ASAP, because this is important. People, I'm not pro-commercial fishermen. I'm not pro-science. I'm not pro-recreational. I'm not pro-anything. I just want the facts. I just want the reality. If that means I have to bite the bullet, I will. If that means that's information I don't like, well, that's my tough luck. So let's stick to science, and I don't know how you define true science. It's usually the science you want to hear. Anyway, I'm Bill Hitchcock. I'm going to give you my email address, and one last thing. Little change up. I want to hear from you. I don't care if you disagree with me. Most of the time, people disagree with me. If you email me, what I have been doing is I email you back, say, can I use this? And if you say no or don't respond, I don't use it. If you respond back, yeah, go ahead and use it, I will. Evidently, some people have gotten upset by that. Well, if you email me, billhitchcock@mail.com, 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 if you email me, specify, yes, you can read this on air, Bill. No, you cannot read this on air, Bill. Specify. Because if you don't specify, I'm just going to consider, it's like on YouTube. When you post on YouTube, that's public domain. So look at it that way. If you want to talk to me personally, say this is personal, Bill. Do not air this. Be specific. And speaking of which, the last email I read was real long, and I couldn't even touch half of it. So maybe fine tune, get a little bit more specific on one or two topics. Don't list out 20. And please substantiate your statements. It's 500 per pound in Dean, but well, where did you get that? Did your buddy tell you that? Did your club meeting tell you that? Did the CCA tell you that? Did the Division of Marine Fisheries tell you that? Did independent study in Guatemala tell you that? So we can research it. If you're right, you're right. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It's fine with me. All right, enough of me. Bill Hitchcock. As soon as I get all the information about what's going on with the flounder season, we'll get back to you.